almost all of us seem to have this innate, inbuilt need to compare ourselves with others, as if we we seem to believe as if we would not know who we are if we could not evaluate or position ourselves in the context of someone else and other people and see how we measure up vis-a-vis other people. And we learn this pretty early on. It's reinforced in a lot of schooling systems. It's reinforced by adults all over, and we really grow up thinking, okay, looking around us, looking at what everyone else is doing, looking at who they are, and then trying to figure out, okay, I am good enough or bad enough, or not right or right, and all of these kinds of things. And I think we are not really aware about the extent of damage that this kind of comparison does to us. Uh, from the point of self-esteem, it's almost as if in order to feel good about who I am, I need to constantly reassure myself that I am better or as good as everyone else around me. And, and a part of me is therefore always looking outward, focused at others, and trying to judge and evaluate them, and then position me in the light of where I've positioned all those other significant people whom I want to compare myself with. And then I start, drawing inferences about my self-worth and how good I am or how worthy I am or how, how deserving I am, and all these attributes that I then start attributing to myself. Um, some of the problems that this can lead to, for example, is of course underlying threads of emotions like negativity, like envy, like jealousy, like sort of not wanting others, not wanting to acknowledge the greatness of others, because that is seen as a threat to our own self-esteem and our own evaluation of where we will stand in that scale that we've come up with in placing ourselves with others. I personally suffered a lot from envy, so and jealousy, and growing up, I had huge issues where I could not tolerate the success or anyone else being good enough, because I always saw it as a threat to my own self-worth, because I was always evaluating myself in terms of, am I best, am I good enough, am I first, am I second, am I the best in class, am I the best in my colony, am I best in this, and and that leads to a lot of unhappiness. That sort of means I don't want anyone else to do anything well, and I don't want them to achieve success. I'm looking at everybody as a threat, and therefore as an enemy. Luckily, fortunately, these things turned around for me, and I was and they turned around in a quite a dramatic way. And I'll just tell you about how it happens, and hopefully it might contribute to someone listening out there. So, in one of my Reiki classes, the instructor took us through a guided visualization, a meditation, and we were asked to think about one negative quality that we wanted to let go of. I picked envy because I could really see the havoc that it was creating in my head. And what happened to me during that visualization, during that meditation, is, um, and I'm going to describe it like I witnessed it and what happened. So, it was one of those visualizations where you meet your higher self. So my higher self took me into this beautiful hillside full of lovely, 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 lovely flowers of different kinds and colors, and it was like valley of flowers, okay, name it. And I love flowers, and we spent an amazing time there together. And then she suddenly popped this question onto me, which is, okay, pick your favorite flower. I was like, I like them all. And then she was like, no, pick the best flower. So she was relentless. She didn't give up. And not even favorite, pick the best flower, pick the best flower. And I was like, no, how can there be a best flower? There's this, tiny, delicate bluebell, and there's this big yellow sunflower, and there's this rose with, velvety texture. And I was like, what a stupid question. Pick the best flower. I mean, like, how can I compare? Like, literally, how can I compare apples and oranges? There's color, there's texture, there's fragrance, there's the individual characteristic of every flower. And I couldn't do it. And the more I resisted, the more this higher self of mine, you can you can think that I imagined her presence, but the more the pressure was, no, pick the best one. You have to rate them and rank them somehow and pick the best one. And I reached a point where, and I love flowers, I was like, I'm not doing this. This is an exercise I will not do. And that's when the aha sort of opened up for me, and I realized what I was doing to myself all the time by, comparing myself to all the other people, and trying to say, am I better than this person, or is this person better than me? This person is a threat. And I was like, oh my God, we are all different, different colors and different textures and different flowers and different sizes and different fragrances and different intentions. And it was just one moment where that's it. Since then, I have never felt the need to really compare myself. In fact, it seems illogical every time I try to think of, am I better than so and so, am I, or is so and so better than me? The foolishness and the lack of logic in that question itself just boomerangs back on me when I think of these flowers, and I'm saying, okay, what is the dimension on which you're rating and ranking people? We are such complex people, such lovely creations with so many dimensions to our existence that it's stupid, illogical, and completely irrational to try and compare one person with another, one child with another, one human being with another human being, and trying to say someone is therefore superior than someone else, or I'm the better than so and so, or this is, I'm the best, or all of those are stupid, illogical. There's no rationale to drawing those conclusions. And we might come up with some very, very um, allow me to use the word screwed up scales in our head, through which we're like, okay, we might say, okay, running is good and maths is good and looking pretty is good and having a boyfriend is good, and on these 4 dimensions I am better than XYZ. But that's stupid. That's not true. That's just a stupid scale that you came up with to sort of measure your own self-esteem, and it's not an absolute scale. It has no meaning, and therefore it makes sense, if you're a logical person, to drop that scale. And it makes sense, if you're a logical person, to stop comparing yourself with others. And it really makes sense, if you're a logical person, that you do not draw your own conclusions about your worthiness or your self-esteem or how deserving you are or who you are by comparing in a way that's relative, by looking to others and seeing what they're doing. The only thing that makes sense is to just look at yourself as a standalone creature, as the person you are and the person you want to be and what you want to do. Revel in that, play in that, and know that you are worthy no matter what, if that's something that's of concern to you. I hope this made sense to you, and please let me know if it did, because I would love to hear back from you. Thank you.